get some. Beware,
IGN Game Scoop.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Today, I'm joined by Dan Stapleton, Justin Davis,
Scoop,
and Brian Altano. Our topic today comes from one of our fans, Seamus O'Neill. Seamus? One of those.
I like that name.
Makes me think of the wee baby Seamus.
I think it's a strong name, personally.
Pretty good.
Yeah, sounds like Shameless.
It says, recently my friends and I got on the subject of what we each thought was the most overrated game of all time. The question turned out to be a lot harder than we thought it would, and we had a lengthy discussion on the subject. My question to you would be, what are each of your answers for most overrated game of all time?
It's a really nasty question to ask a reviewer because I mean, like everybody's opinion is valid. You know, it's really which do you disagree with more? But I mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's been rated badly.
It's a personal choice for what you believe. That's that caveat. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, it just depends on what I don't like.
Right.
Yeah. And we should also point out, just because we think a game is overrated doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad game. Right. It's just maybe something that is often praised that maybe doesn't deserve it as much as some other games.
Yeah, like this video will not end with like IGN declares X the most overrated game of all time.
unless.
So I'm going to start.
No, I'm going to start.
You're going to start.
Because this is my show.
All right.
I'm going to start with...
I'm terrified someone's going to say mine before I get to.
The highest rated game on Metacritic. The single highest rated game with a 98 on Metacritic, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Oh, you took mine.
Oh, no!
You took one of mine, but that's okay.
But you have another feather in your cap.
Yes, I do. That's good. I'm actually...
Which IGN gave it a 10.
Yeah, IGN gave it a 10. A lot of people gave it a 10. Yeah. And I gave it a 10 after the first 4 hours I played it. And then I played 10 more. And I was like, this is not a 10 anymore.
Now, for me, like I think it depends on how you look at that game. Because I agree that like the quests are not necessarily a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Like some of them are pretty damn frustrating, in fact.
I like that you call them quests.
Yeah, me too.
Well, the missions, whatever. Yeah. You're not slaying orcs, so I guess they're not.
Doth thou have thy Grand Theft Auto sword? Findeth in the quest.
Yeah.
A medieval Grand Theft Auto would be pretty awesome.
Yes.
Right?
Pretty awesome.
Can we get on that? Can somebody please?
Somebody make that.
You just going to hijack a horse?
Yes.
Horse jack?
I mean, we already did a Western Grand Theft Auto, right? So let's do a medieval.
Yeah.
But point is, like I think
Skyrim.
the strength of Grand Theft Auto is not in its story or anything like that. It's just in the sandbox.
Nope.
Sure.
And I think the sandbox,
Brian disagrees.
For me, that is a 10 out of 10 sandbox.
It's a sandbox with no sand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
There's
ruined
nothing to do in that game outside of
nonsense.
driving and walking.
Yeah, it's like you can throw darts on a date. It's just it's not
You
very
can get
fun.
drunk and then take a cab.
There's a city full of buildings you can't enter.
And I
There
already do
are stores that you can only see from the outside. There's 2 banks in the entire game you can like walk into. There's a couple of clothing stores you can go in, but for the most part, you're driving through a shell of a world, and the driving isn't that great. The shooting mechanics suck.
Yeah.
So you're left with a bunch of things you can't do very well in a mostly empty world.
Even running,
10 out of 10.
Walking and running is really hard to do.
I never finished it. I just got burnt out.
Nobody finished it.
I wasn't.
Obviously,
it.
people finished
I will
it.
say for its time, it was beautiful and it was ambitious as fuck.
Yeah.
That it was this gorgeous and huge and it looked that great from top to bottom. Like you could walk around that world and be like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
But then you really dug into it and you're like, there's not much here.
It just wasn't very fun to play.
Yes.
I disagree with the notion that it's an empty sandbox. I think there are a lot, like the people in that city are fantastic to play with.
Sure.
That for me, the way they react to the mayhem that I cause is one of the big appeals of that game for me.
Well,
just to be able to do madness and have fun things.
I agree, that stuff was awesome. And especially when we saw the first trailer for the physics engine they were running, where you just saw these cars smashing into people and they just melt and fly and just bend in half. And you could do a lot of that stuff in the game, and I loved it for that. But for the most part, like, you were driving around doing nothing.
And it still has it has frustrating game mechanics where like it'll be like chase down this guy, he's getting away in his car, chase him down, oh, he got away.
Yeah.
All right, start it over again.
Restart the thing.
Like, that's just like, I'm over
And it wasn't even just restart the mission, it was restart
The
you
conversation.
driving to the mission to restart the mission.
There's
They did let you
points were
skip
badly
those
placed.
driving sections, but yeah, definitely.
I would add though that I think the multiplayer in Grand Theft Auto 4 is underrated.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it was
totally.
awesome. I had so much fun playing.
Totally.
And
And it's got some incredible characters and then some
Yeah.
really cool story choices and stuff like that.
But the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
I would have thought Metroid Prime or Galaxy would be.
I would have said
Or
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what I thought you were going to say, and I was going to leap over Dan and punch you in the mouth.
No, I would never. I love Ocarina of Time. I don't
Okay.
think that game is overrated.
Good.
But what were you going to say, Justin?
I was going to say, obviously, blatantly, Uncharted 3 is not a 10 out of 10. Greg Miller.
You're going to get hell for this.
Yep.
I think that Greg's in the minority on that one. You know, like we had this.
Uncharted 2 is so much better.
I agree. We had this as, you know, we did a GameScoop panel live at PAX East this year, and it was on the best game of the generation. And Greg asked the audience, am I in the minority that Uncharted 3 is a 10? And the audience did not agree with Greg.
All right.
So my thing is,
let's go then.
it's similar to GTA 4, where, you know, it's telling this interesting story, and like that chapter you wander through the desert is like really memorable. The chapter where these are spoilers by the way, but where you're young Drake are like really memorable. But they're just not that much fun.
Yeah.
Like just like GTA 4 is trying to tell a really interesting story at the expense of like, you know, the fun kooky sandboxness. Like Uncharted 2 and 1 to a lesser extent were like sort of fun. They had serious moments. Drake gets shot and almost dies, but like for the most part they're just sort of fun Indiana Jones style adventures.
Yeah,
and 3
totally.
3 is dark.
Yeah, you said. I think 3 is a very good game, an excellent game, but I like 2 more.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it, by the way. The scene in the desert and the scene when you're young Drake, they're fantastic from a narrative perspective.
Yeah.
But once you're actually holding up and slogging through this desert, tired and thirsty, and nothing happens for 45 minutes until you get into this
And people are
circular
shouting at the
gunfight
screen.
for-
People are
Yeah.
shouting at the screen that, oh, that's the point. And like they're not wrong, but it just means like that's why I played Uncharted 3 once and I played
Sure.
the other 2 several times.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to experience
I
it.
mean, a lot of people's favorite parts in the Indiana Jones movie isn't when he's teaching a class.
I think about Uncharted 3 as the Temple of Doom of the Uncharted series. I
Oh,
guess.
so the best one?
No,
No, get out of here!
Yeah.
That's
Temple
a
of
whole
Doom-
different. We're saving this.
Temple of Doom is amazing.
I know.
Nope, no,
I also
no,
think Temple
no.
of Doom is like too cool to.
Yeah,
compare
Temple of
it
Doom
that
is the
way.
best Indiana Jones by far.
No.
Yeah, it is nonstop amazing from top to bottom. Nope, I don't even
Temple of
want to
Doom
hear
is
it.
Eyeball
awesome.
soup.
It is, thank you.
Yeah.
David.
Cut up with the
Monkey
snake.
brains.
That
whole
baby
dinner
scene.
scene.
Chilled
Fantastic.
monkey brains.
No.
Especially because they're starving, they haven't eaten in so long. Just like Nathan Drake, who hasn't had a drink in the desert for a very long time.
Well, the analogy that I was getting at, I was surprised that you guys liked that so much. I thought most people didn't like Temple of Doom because it's darker than the other movies. It's darker and there's child slavery and it's like, oof, this is less fun.
I thought it was goofier, really. Like they went
It's
more
also
over the
they're
top
short
of the action.
round, so
Yeah.
That's true.
The guy gets crushed in that like steamroller machine. His like turban gets caught and
Yep.
he gets sucked into it, and the blood comes over there.
the
and
guy
I was
rips
like,
a beating heart out.
Yeah.
He's got to put your hand in the thing with the bugs in it.
It's just not as much fun in Uncharted 3. I'm bringing this back around.
Yeah.
When like you find out he's not even related to Nathan Drake, and then you're like, oof, that feels bad. Like it turns out he like stole that name, and like his friends are all telling him to quit, and he won't quit. Like he's really crazy about it, and I'm just like, man, I don't know. It's just not as good.
I agree. Dan, overrated game.
I've picked this one specifically to antagonize Justin.
What's it going to be?
All
Is it
right.
gonna be
I'm going to say
Skyrim?
Angry Birds.
Nope. I'm going to say Minecraft.
Okay.
All right.
Overrated. Okay.
So I love Minecraft as a toy. It is virtual Legos. That's fantastic. As a game,
Yeah.
Like the game that's in. Again, that's another one where it's a fantastic sandbox. Not a great game.
Okay.
I think that I mean you can go and do the dungeon delving stuff, but you know it's very simple combat mechanics. Most of what you're doing is hitting something with a stick. It's not well paced. It's not.
You are describing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
I disagree with that.
Hit things with a stick. You dungeon delving.
You don't
It's
think
slow
it's well-
paced.
You know.
Well, I'm not saying the combat in Skyrim is fantastic, but
Sure.
it's better than Minecraft.
I thought Skyrim sucked, so that's just me.
I mean, I think so. Minecraft blew up. A lot of people don't understand why that game is so huge.
Right.
Why did it take over the world? Why did it make Notch? I think it's over $200 million
Give or
now.
take, yeah.
But Minecraft blew up at the same era where Call of Duty and Uncharted and games like that ruled the gaming landscape, where they funnel you from one, like they could not be more scripted. Uncharted, like you jumped the wrong way, so now you die and you do it again. Like it's literally the most guided, the hand of the developer guiding you from place to place.
Yeah.
And Minecraft is a reaction to that. It's a response to that. Like the degree of player agency, you can make this world look like whatever you want. You can do anything that you want in this game. You can build a giant underground, Moria labyrinth. You can build towers.
You
to
can
the
make
sky.
anything you want. You can't do anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you can in the sense that, the world, you can wander off in any random direction. Like, that degree of player freedom now it doesn't seem as radical because Minecraft got so big that other games are doing this like building, crafting thing. But that wasn't really much of a thing before Minecraft.
But why does that make a fun game? If I get home from work and I just want to play a fun game, and it's like, here's a field, go have fun. Build all the things to make fun with.
It's
I'm like, I don't want to do that.
It's not a game for everybody. It's a game where you have to make your own.
But it is
fun.
a game for a lot of people.
It is a game for everybody. I mean, almost everybody's playing Minecraft.
So I couldn't get into Minecraft either, but we're in the minority there, right? Like
It's a game where you have to define your own goals. So it's like the game doesn't tell you, hey, build a library, but I chose to I want to go out and build like this massive library.
Right, and for me, that is the difference between a game and a toy.
Yeah,
is that a game is creates obstacles for you, creates objectives for you. There's a goal. There's something trying to stop you from accomplishing that goal.
I disagree. You can make your own goals and have it still be a video game.
Well, it's a game that you have made for yourself.
Yeah,
it's like I give you a ball and a field, and then you start playing baseball. I haven't designed baseball. You designed baseball.
Yeah, but baseball's a game.
Right, but I gave you a physical ball.
You made the game.
Right, you made baseball.
It doesn't. Those games don't work for me. I need like objectives to work towards. Basically, when I'm dropped into a world and I'm not given anything to do, I feel like paralyzed. I just like, well, I don't know.
I totally agree. And I love the art. I love the way things look when they're all built, and I want to see somebody make games out of Minecraft that have points and things to do in them, and you can drop it in front of me and
people
be like,
have.
Yeah, get to the tower and beat the king or whatever. And I'm like, sure, I'll do that. But when you're just like, here's a field and an axe, oh, there's some things coming at night, but they don't really matter. Just build a hat or whatever. Then that's, it's just not enough for me.
When I played Minecraft at first, it was brought to me as like, this game is amazing. Try it. Play this game. So I played it as a game, and I was underwhelmed because like I played it for like a weekend, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm having some fun here. I'm driven to go and acquire these materials and craft a better house. Eventually, I built a house suspended in the sky with like effectively suspended by a waterfall, and the only way you can fly, you can get up there is go up the waterfall
elevator.
Right. So, like after I'd done that, it's like, okay, what am I doing? There's no more game here. I have like swords made out of diamonds. Like there's nothing else.
You got to build Mega Man out of
like
blue blocks for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So you like once you turn it and once you realize it's not a great game, it's a great Lego set.
Sure.
It's a fantastic toy.
Does it claim to be anything else than that?
No.
So what? I'm just not sure it's fair to claim it's overrated when it doesn't claim to be anything other than it is.
It's rated as a game. So it's the same thing with Grand Theft Auto, I feel.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think you can think about something like Animal Crossing is the same way. It's open-ended. You decide what you want to do in that game. I want to breed flowers. Another person wants to fill their insect book. Neither person's wrong. The game doesn't tell you what to do.
Well, here's a comparison for you.
No, that's completely that's not true at all. You walk into the game and the guy goes, "You have a house. You owe me money. Go get money to give me money."
No, you can live in a tent if you want to. Nothing's stopping you from doing that.
Nobody wants to live in a tent.
Here's a comparison.
We live in San Francisco. A lot of people here live in tents.
Spore is a pretty bad game, I think.
Yeah,
but it has a fantastic creature creator. Like I can play with that creature creator for hours and hours and hours. I gave it to my sisters-in-law who were like 10 at the time, and they played with that. I gave them just the creature creator, not the full game. It was very nice of them to not make me disappoint them with the full game. Mm-hmm. So I gave them the creature creator, and they played with it for a year.
Yeah,
like it is fantastic, but it's not a game.
Did they also make dick monsters like everybody else?
I never saw a dick monster out of them, but yeah.
Brian, since I stole your pick.
No, I mean I totally agreed with yours. Mine is, and I'm a huge Zelda fan. Everybody knows that, but mine is The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Yeah, me too.
It's just
me too.
Oh no,
really?
I love that one.
Okay,
you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, that game has never and will never truly click with me. It always feels like something, it feels like a student project after Ocarina of Time, where that came out and somebody was like, let's take all those parts and build this fake weekend Zelda where you have to keep repeating quests, you're on a 3-day cycle. The story's cool where it's like there's this moon coming down, impending doom, but there's 4-6 temples in the entire game.
Yeah.
You're this weird Link in this weird town that you have no connection to with all these strange people. It feels like a side quest or like a second quest to Ocarina of Time, but not in like a good way. You know when you played the first Zelda, and you're like, oh, they remixed everything, and I don't know where anything is anymore. Yeah. That's how Majora's Mask felt. And I'm in the minority on this, because I know many Zelda fans are like, that is one of the best Zelda games ever made.
It is a polarizing Zelda, though.
Is it really?
It seems like you either love it or hate it.
Yeah, because I mean, every other Zelda game I've ever played, I'm in a temple, and I'm like, I can take my time to beat this. And with that game, it's like, I better rush out and get the key and come back and change the time and then come back again and then
Yeah.
get a mask that changes my character attributes. Like, it's so weird and not in a good way. There's a lot of weird Zelda games. I enjoy most of them. Majora's Mask just never did it for me. I think it's horribly overrated.
I agree. It's interesting narratively. It's actually, there's a thread running through all these games, except Minecraft, I guess, is the exception, where like it's doing an interesting thing with story, I think, at the expense of gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
I played the game the first time and fucked up, and then I had to repeat everything I'd just done. And I'm like, that's not fun. Like,
That's not fun
it
at
doesn't
all.
feel good. Like,
You had to re-meet everyone for the first time dozens of times
Yeah.
if you weren't playing it the right way.
and like, it's really stressful. And again, there's going to be people screaming at the television
Good.
saying,
I love Zelda games. I love them. I play
Yeah.
them more than anybody in the office, probably. Majora's Mask was not good.
I just mean, like, they're going to say the point is that it's stressful. The world's ending. You know,
Yeah.
you're supposed to feel that. But I'm like, that's not what I want to feel. Like,
That's not Zelda for me. Give
No,
me a
me neither.
field and a horse, and I can hang out. I can be like, I'm going to go check out that thing over there. Maybe there's something over here.
Yeah, it's like, nope, you
take
gotta
my
go.
time.
You gotta get going. You can't see what's over there.
No.
You don't have time to do that.
It's a Zelda game with a timer on it, and to me, that's completely stupid. Those are two things battling each other.
You guys are not alone. I know a lot of people agree with you. I liked Majora's Mask a lot. I like, if you look at all the Zelda games, a lot of them are very similar. They feel very similar, and I start to get tired of that. I like that Majora's Mask was different. I like that it's kind of weird and creepy.
It's dark.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
that's
dark. I
cool.
like-
It's
kinda
got
like that
it's
about
like
it.
that's totally got that stuff going for it, which I really appreciated. Like when you first meet the mask salesman, and
Oh,
you're
God.
like, this guy's demented.
yeah.
Like he's like Jigsaw or something like that.
I like Nintendo being weird and creepy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but I did say once that I would give that game another chance.
I think we talked about on GameScoop before that we should
Yeah.
play it again, then we didn't do it.
Yeah, the last time I went on GameScoop and shit on Majora's Mask. Yeah.
When Nintendo wants to remake it in HD and
Yeah.
put it on 3DS or
Put it on
something.
3DS. I'll give it another shot.
Thank you for the topic, Seamus. Lots of good, interesting picks here. Viewers, let us know your picks for the most overrated games of all time. Let us know in the comments on Twitter, and stay tuned for more from IGN GameScoop.